Now, this Saturday, it's the Wesley Foundation's Pancake Breakfast. You talk about delicious. All you can eat. 7 until 10 this Saturday morning at 216 College Heights. Again, that's this Saturday morning from 7 until 10. The play, Alice by Heart, wraps up this weekend at the Arts Center of Cannon County in neighboring Woodbury. Are you a caregiver for an Alzheimer's or dementia patient? You need to be at the monthly meeting of We Remember You. And they meet on the second Tuesday of each month at the Villages of Murfreesboro. That's not this week, but it is next week, Tuesday the 11th at 4 in the afternoon. The Alzheimer and Dementia Caregiver Support Group. And again, that's at the Villages of Murfreesboro at 2550 Willow Oak Trail. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Participating in Murfreesboro's special census could help bring more funding to our city. $175 per resident per year. Here's Murfreesboro Mayor Shane McFarland.
Those dollars shared with us will greatly benefit our community, build roads, maintain parks, improve public safety, and much more.
It's fast and easy. Complete the form online at murfreesborocensus.com.
Count me in.
Okay, count me in.
And count me in, too.
Let's make sure every resident counts. Visit murfreesborocensus.com.
Right now that time, 7:53. Good morning from WGNS. Hope everybody's off to a great start. It is 66 degrees outside right now in downtown Murfreesboro. It's now time to head to Gloria Christie at Shacklett's Photography, one of the oldest businesses on the downtown square. How are you, Gloria?
Well, I'm not that old.
You're not that old. The business is that old.
Wait, let's start with that, okay?
I should have been more clear.
That's right. Yeah, when I'm feeling enthusiastic and energetic and all this morning, well...
Leave it to Scott to say something bad.
Yeah, I'm just plummeting right before your eyes. Oh, my gosh. No, seriously, I have to tell you, talk about energized and enthusiastic. I'm telling you, Bill is just doing, he's really good at what he does just on a lot of levels, but he is really getting good with restorations, and I've never seen such work come out of this guy. I mean, it's amazing, and I want y'all to come by and just take a look at his magic. I mean, he doesn't, and the thing about it is, Scott, he doesn't even really know. With every one, it gets better and better and better. And I don't think he realizes he's doing that. So that's even more fun.
That's cool. And he does a lot of different type of things, but he enjoys what he does. And that's the coolest part about it, that he loves it.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Well, I'm trying to do this. I'm strategic because it's intense. He has to be focused, and it's almost like I would say it's almost like he's in the operating room trying to bring back these pictures that are just gone, just absolutely gone. We had an absolutely gone one this week. You couldn't even barely could see the baby. It was all just totally disintegrated. And he came and brought it. He said, "Here, what do you think of this?" Oh my gosh! So what I'm doing, I'm as his sister, and who knows nothing how to do this. I barely know how to turn on the computer, but that's another story. But anyway, I try to get him out there to see the customer's reaction. So because he just doesn't know it. He's back there, and it's intense, and he's doing the work, and just because it takes so much precision. But when he sees the people's face light up, that's really, that's the reward for me. And I think it encourages them a little bit. I really do.
I'm sure it does. And I'm sure the reaction of folks is often, oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I can just imagine. They probably could not believe this picture could be brought back to life, so to speak.
Really. Seriously, some of the things he's coming up with, they're not even there, barely there.
He's like adding cousins and grandparents.
I don't know. I mean, he's nailing. He does not lose the integrity of the original print. that's what I think that years and years and years of experience has taught him. All of this, even the evolution of our business through this to this technology, it had its roots in those lab experiences back in the day when you had to keep things in total darkness in the lab, and then you had this red light that you turned on if you wanted to see what your image looked like barely as you were doing the developing, and you with that 3 developer trays. You probably don't even know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, I know about the dark room and all that good stuff. And,
Okay, good.
Man, talk about coming a long ways. It's wild, the change in photography over the years.
It is, but what's fun is we've been we didn't do the glass negatives or daguerreas. However, we do restore those. So, I mean, we just barely made it to acetate, and then now this. So, within 100 years, that's basically it, because Dad started he was born in 1921, so we're talking about the 100-year technology that has evolved into this. And I think sometimes that's one of even though we have, the technology has evolved at warp speed, there is this element of we can use it for the next generation to see things, and also the being able to work with the technology and be able to bend our future to that and be able to help folks save their images. That's what this is all about.
Very cool stuff. Again, Gloria Christie, Shacklett's Photography, right here in Murfreesboro. And again, just kind of recap how it all started for Shacklett's.
Well, Dad started in 1938 in the old James K. Polk Hotel, which, by the way, all of those historic images are in the front. Well, some of them are in our lobby or they're online. Those just give you a glimpse of what it used to be like in Murfreesboro. So we save those and we protect those, and we also try to save the stories. So, and by the way, Scott, let me just put a little point here. In February 19th, we're going to have and I'll tell you more about this later. We're going to have an amazing press conference, and we're going to make an exciting announcement about Ruth's Rendezvous, Uncle Dave. And it's going to be at Hot Springs at 6 o'clock on the 19th. Just like everything else, everything's evolving and everything's changing, but some things do stay the same and still get exciting. So February 19th, 6 o'clock, everybody come out there. We're going to share with you some exciting news, and we want everybody to be there.
That sounds great. Again, Gloria Christie, Shacklett's Photography, downtown Murfreesboro, across from the courthouse, and online at shacklettsphotography.com. Well, Gloria,
all right,
thanks for joining us.
All right, everybody have a good day.
Absolutely. All right, we'll talk to you next week.
All righty, bye-bye.
Time right now, 7:59, just 45 seconds away from the 8 o'clock hour, and you're tuned to WGNS Murfreesboro. Coming up next, Swap and Shop will be on the air. You can call in or text in anything you have for sale or trade. The number to call in or text in, 615-893-1450, 615-893-1450. Again, call us or text us with anything you have for sale or for trade. We'd love to hear from you. I already have a few text messages to jump on, and we'll get to those in just a second.
At Middle Tennessee Electric, we see the lines that link us all, illuminating our neighborhoods, empowering our businesses, and helping us to recharge. Because we believe in the power of good energy. Whether it comes from our grids, the sun, or a kind heart. And as your family and our region continue to grow, you can trust that we'll always be there for you. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
Are you shopping for lights?
We got it!
Doors?
We got it.
Flooring?
We got it!
Furniture?
We got it here at the Habitat Restore. 850 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Murfreesboro.
Remember, we got it today, but it may be gone tomorrow.
Find it at the Restore, yeah.
We got it at the Habitat Restore.
The Habitat Restore at 850 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Murfreesboro.
Ready? I was out in the kitchen with a broom and a mop. I was listening to Shop and Swap. I thought I'd turn the volume up and get me a deal. 1450-1450, Bart can sell anything, you know, and the old boy calls in like he calls every day. Bart, need Mustang parts? I got a car won't start. Bart, I also got a Mary lawnmower. It smokes a little bit, but you can get rid of the mosquitoes while you cut your grass. Bart, I got 4 ponies.
All right, folks, you can call us right now at 615-893-1450. Again, 615-893-1450. We'd love to hear from you this morning, and let's go ahead and head to line 1. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm having a yard sale tomorrow in Lynchburg. I'm going to have guns. I've got a 52-inch Aaron's zero-turn mower. I've got a brand new Amana dishwasher, a lot of ball cards and other collectibles. I've got to sell everything. I sold my farm, and I got to get it out.
All right.
If they call me, I can tell them about it. I'll give them my phone number is 931-808-7045.
All right. Again, a big yard sale going on tomorrow in Lynchburg, Tennessee. 52-inch Aaron's zero-turn mower, guns, and sounds like tons of collectibles.
A lot of them.
All right.
And I'll be buying U.S. coins if anybody got any coins they'd like to sell.
All right. And then again, the number 931-808-7045.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks for calling this morning. Again, that phone number for the yard sale in Lynchburg, Tennessee, 931-808-7045. 931-808-7045. And again, he said the yard sale is going to be tomorrow in Lynchburg. All right, let's go to line 2. Good morning. How are you?
Pretty good. We have got for sale this morning some Anilonian and Pyrenees mixed pups, $75 each. Also have a underground 8x20 storm shelter. Be great for that. We're asking $1,200 on it. And we have some metal roofing for $150 per foot. Number is 931-808-5644.
931-808-5644. And what was the price on the metal roofing again?
$150 per foot.
All right, $1.50 per foot. All right, thanks for calling this morning.
Thank you.
No problem at all. Again, metal roofing, $1.50 per foot. Underground storm shelter at $1,200. And then also you had the puppies for sale too. So lots of stuff there. Puppies and underground storm shelter and metal roofing. 931-808-5644. 931-808-5644 for that last call. All right, you can give us a call or you can text us. Text us at 615-893-1450. 615-893-1450. Let us know what you have for sale or for trade. Here is a riding mower for sale. It's a 48-inch cut. 48-inch cut riding mower for sale. And it says, cuts good, like new. And the phone number to call for this like new 48-inch cut riding mower, 615-542-3003. 615-542-3003 for this light new 48-inch cut riding lawnmower. 542-3003. All right. We're going to take a short break. We'll come right back, and we have some more items to get on the air for you for Swap and Shop. We'll take a look at the birthday list in just a second, brought to you by Slick Pig Barbecue. And also, we'll let you know about that good neighbor of the day, brought to you by Ryan Flowers Coffee and Gifts. All of that coming up next, right here on your Good Neighbor station since 1947. Again, the time right now, 8:05.
We're broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios. Visit MTE.com.
At Holden Hardware, we carry one of the area's best selection of sleds. We carry the round disc to the 48 and 66-inch plastic toboggans. We also have a few different ones in between. We may even have the old-fashioned wood and metal sleds. When you are wanting to buy a sled, don't drive all over town. Come by and see us at Holden Hardware on the square. If you see the sleds in the window, we have them waiting for you. But don't wait too long. Get your sled at Holden Hardware on the square.
Life changes, then it changes again. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. A job loss, change in health, or loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure that you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for an appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Hey, this is Dan with Music World and Drummers Den. Come in for your guitars, keyboards, drums. We have you covered. Lessons, we got that. Drums and every other instrument with strings or keys. Music World and Drummers Den, the one-stop shop where you have everything that you might need. Ukuleles, violins, things that they're not expecting to find just everywhere they go. Come see us at Music World and Drummers Den, 2762 South Church Street, right across from the golf course. Music World and Drummers Den.
It is 8:07 right now, and you're tuned to WGNS, your Good Neighbor station. Today's Good Neighbor of the Day is Tracy Pope. Tracy Pope was nominated as Good Neighbor for her work at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. And it says that she is very caring in the way she interacts with the patients. Again, Tracy Pope nominated as Good Neighbor for her work interacting with patients at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. Today, Tracy's going to receive flowers, compliments of Ryan Flowers, coffee, and gifts. Again, Tracy Pope, our Good Neighbor. If you want to nominate the next Good Neighbor, just go to wgnsradio.com/Good Neighbor and tell us all about that person who you think should be the next Good Neighbor of the Day. Time to head over to the Slick Pig Barbecue Birthday List. Slick Pig is at 1920 East Main, right here in Murfreesboro. And we're going to give away some homemade banana pudding. But if you've not stopped by Slick Pig to try their amazing desserts, and you should always eat dessert first, then you really should stop by. Their ribs are amazing there. Pulled pork barbecue, man, it's amazing at Slick Pig. The smoked wings, they are, I'd say, the best in the state. Stop by Slick Pig. All right, on the birthday list, we have 59-year-old Shantae Johnson. Shantae Johnson, 59, called in by Henry Newsom. 42-year-old Debbie Snyder from Denise. Debbie Snyder from Denise. Campbell Peck and Katie Turner, both called in by First Presbyterian Church in downtown Murfreesboro. Happy birthday number 10 to Journey McCrowski from your uncle. Again, Journey McCrowski turning 10 today. It says from Unky, as opposed to just the word uncle. Journey McCrowski. All right, who else we got here on the list? All right, we have Tanya Lippeter and also Seth Bentley. Dale Ford having a birthday, called in by friends. Katie Turner from Friends and Family. Helen Anderson. And also Jimmy Turner, both having a birthday, along with Daryl Rigsby. Those names all texted to us. Let's see. Debbie Snyder from Denise. Do we get that on yet? I'm not sure. 42. Debbie Snyder from Denise. All right, let's find out who is going to win the homemade banana pudding this morning from Slick Pig Barbecue. Here we go. All right, 10-year-old Journey McCrowski is our winner today. Journey McCrowski, who turned 10 from your uncle. 10-year-old Journey McCrowski, officially winning that homemade banana pudding. Again, compliments of Slick Pig Barbecue at 1920 East Main in the borough. Time right now is 8:10, and you're tuned to WGNS. Have another item real quick here for Swap and Shop. It says the Wesley Foundation at MTSU is having their annual pancake breakfast on February 8th. That's this Saturday, between 7 and 10. All you can eat pancakes. And again, the Wesley House, that's who it benefits. They're going to have a silent auction there as well this Saturday. All proceeds will go towards the Wesley Campus Ministry. And the Wesley House is at 216 College Heights in Murfreesboro. Again, this pancake breakfast, all you can eat, is going to be Saturday, 7 a.m. till 10 at the Wesley Foundation at MTSU. and it's all part of their campus ministry. 216 College Heights. That's the address again this Saturday. All right, time again right now, 8:11, and the news comes your way next with CBS Radio News. Again, time 8:11.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. This is D-Day for about 2 million federal workers to hand in deferred resignations or face the possibility of terminations as part of the Trump administration's plans to slim down government. Maryland's Democratic Senator Angela Alsobrooks.
Hardworking Americans who've done their job dutifully, some for decades. I've spoken with them. Fired for no reason whatsoever.
Correspondent Weijia Jiang is at the White House.
The Office of Personnel Management sent memos to the heads of agencies to defend the legality of the program, claiming if employees resign, they will continue to be paid through September 30th.
CBS News has learned more than 40,000 have already agreed to leave. Many more are expected to do the same thing today. We've learned the president's new Department of Government Efficiency is also targeting the government agency that studies and predicts Earth's weather, climate, oceans, and coasts. CBS's Tracy Wolf.
Staffers were told to expect a 50% workforce reduction and a 30% budget cut. NOAA currently employs more than 12,000 people around the world, and more than half of them are scientists and engineers.
President Trump doubling down on his proposal to take over the Gaza Strip and rebuild. Here's correspondent Cammie McCormick.
Trump said this morning that the Palestinians will be resettled in safer and more beautiful communities, and Israel's defense minister has ordered the army to come up with plans for Palestinians to leave by land, air, or sea. The plan has many U.S. allies outraged. In London, the British Minister for Women and Equalities in Parliament today.
We would oppose, Mr. Speaker, any effort to move Palestinians in Gaza to neighbouring Arab states against their will.
We've learned a second employee at a cosmetics warehouse in Ohio has died after a mass shooting Tuesday night. The suspect, a co-worker, is scheduled to be arraigned in New Albany today. Commuters from Maryland and Virginia on up through New England are dealing with a dangerous mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain. That's what it sounds like in Allentown, Pennsylvania. CBS meteorologist David Parkinson.
Philadelphia starts the day as freezing rain, a little bit of ice. It will go over to rain eventually. And then once you go up into the New York metro area, we're going to probably start as snow, switch over to a bit of sleet, maybe some freezing rain.
Looking for a good movie to cozy up to? A new poll from Talker Research finds the favorite of all time is...
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Forrest Gump. The original Wizard of Oz comes in second. S&P futures are up 9. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Something amazing is happening. Technology is working harder, faster, and more reliably. It's delivering results that work. But who makes technology work? CDW. We're a full-service technology solutions provider, advising our clients and designing customized solutions so they can reach their goals and do amazing things. CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com.
An update on the Boy Scouts rebranding.
The Boy Scouts of America became Scouting America as the organization looked to move past scandal and bankruptcy. The group's president says it will continue leaning into a broad message of inclusivity as it celebrates its 115th birthday Saturday. There was a backlash to that, but new interest has outpaced it. There's been a membership gain of about 16,000 new scouts, up less than 2% from the year before. Participation plunged during the pandemic. Scouting America reports just over 1 million members now. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
There's a big celebration in Jamaica today for a reggae legend. Bob Marley would have turned 80 today. Islanders have chosen Uprising as the theme, the name of his 12th and final studio album with the Wailers. Marley died in 1981 of melanoma at the age of 36. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-710-5220. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-710-5220 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business. Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it and will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs. No problem. I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens. Totally. I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing. I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE Sharing Change has now donated more than $11 million to local nonprofits assisting worthy causes in our community. MTE, serving to make life better since 1936.
Hi, this is Peter Demas. Join our family at Demas's Restaurant. So many people buy so many different things. You know, I go out to eat and I like eating steak, where my wife will end up getting her salmon. Our salmon is cut fresh, so she loves her salmon. It's one of those places that you can go, you can get pastas or chicken, you know, the kids love it. Get what you want at Demas's Restaurant and not be limited just to one or two items. Join our family at Demas's Restaurant, 1115 Northwest Broad Street in Murfreesboro.
Hi, this is Tina Fox at the Rutherford Farmers Co-op. Please come see us for all your cold weather needs. We have a great selection of Carhartt clothing to keep you warm, and as always, our warm muck boots to keep your feet warm. We have anything you would need to keep yourself warm or your animals warm. Please come see us. And if you're trying to feed your feathered friends through the cold months, we also have a wide selection of birdseed. That's the Co-op Farm and Home Center on Middle Tennessee Boulevard, just off of South Church.
Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network.
This is Chip Walters, and I'll have Middle Tennessee football and basketball games for you right here.
MTSU Sports on WGNS AM, FM, online. WGNS Murfreesboro, W270AF Murfreesboro, W263AI Murfreesboro, Smyrna. We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is a WGNS Action Line, talking with Rutherford County newsmakers about what matters most to you. Now your host, Scott Walker.
Right now that time, 8:19, you're tuned to WGNS on this Thursday morning. And today we're going to be talking about lawns and gardens and anything closely related to that. And our guests in studio include John Stefanski, Denise Lyles, and Debbie Strobel. How are all y'all doing this morning?
Very good. Thank you.
Very well.
So what should we start off with first? What would be the most interesting topic, I guess?
Well, you know, we've got a few things coming up, and one of the bigger events that the Master Gardeners put on every year, we call it Tree Day. And Tree Day is where we have trees available for the public so they can enhance their yard, have fun starting something small, growing it into something really big. And this year, Tree Day is held on March 14th and 15th. Now, there is still time to order. We order online, and then there are 2 days that you can pick up your trees. So these are sapling trees for your yard, and we've got a decent variety of them. Some of the varieties, the more popular, sell out quickly. So be sure you just choose a correct location for your pickup, because we'll have several places to go to pick up the appropriate trees. There are multiple locations in Rutherford County for pickup this year, and go to this website and you'll have more information. It's TECTN.org, Tennessee Tree Day at HTML.
Now, when you buy a new tree, when you order one online, or if you're lucky enough to get one for free and you plant it, how long does it usually take for it to really start growing, where it's, 3, 4, or 5 feet tall?
Goodness. So I think it depends on nutrients.
It depends on the tree itself.
So a lot of different factors that go into that. And then what are some of those trees that do best in our area?
Native trees. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's an old saying that the first year it creeps. No, the first year it sleeps, the second year it creeps, and the third year it leaps. So it takes a good 3 years for a tree to get established.
And by that third year, you can really see a big difference, huh?
Yes.
Okay. And for anybody listening, what are some of those trees that do best? I know you said the native trees, but I guess you got to factor in the person's yard, how much sunlight the area gets where they're wanting to put the tree, all that stuff too.
I think all the trees that are being sold at TEC are native trees, native to this area.
Okay.
That's the whole purpose of it. TEC stands for Tennessee Environmental Council. So they sell them at a cheap price, and they're more apt to grow here because they are native. They're in their native surroundings.
I know last year I picked up some poplar. I picked up red bud, which is a native tree to Tennessee. And I think there were some pine tree varietals available. And then you've got to think about where you're going to put them in the yard. I see so many of those houses where people will take something that starts off small, like a holly shrub, which grow to be about 25 feet tall, and they put it right next to the gutter. We just have to be mindful that you want it to enhance your life, but you want to put it in the best spot in the yard where the tree does well.
Hey, and I'm sure that's a common mistake that especially first-time homeowners do. They put the tree too close to the house in some shape or form.
On the website, you'll find trees like dogwoods and, of course, Tennessee's tree, tulip poplar, and things like witch hazel, and there's just a variety of different trees if you go to the website. And the Tennessee Environment Council is the one that provides these trees. They've been doing it for years, and they're great people, and we're very fortunate to be a part of that.
Is it that difficult to grow that first tree? Maybe you've never planted one before. Is there that much work that goes into it?
Well, starting off, it really depends. I think once you get them established in their spot, and you give them a proper amount of water, sunlight, some nutrients where needed, even planting it at the proper depth. A lot of people, I think you've seen this, where they'll put a tree in and then it visually looks nice, but they'll put 2 feet of mulch around that tree. And I've seen a lot of trees just suffer. You don't want to really mound it up like that. But I think trees are user-friendly for the most part.
The one thing you do not want to do, especially in this area, is put it under any type of wires, because the electric company will come and they will trim it, and sometimes that can kill it.
I'm sure. And then putting too much mulch around it or on top of it at the bottom, does that really cause that many issues? I'm just wondering, because I know over the years people will go back and add more mulch, never taking away the old mulch.
Visually it looks nice, but it's detrimental to the long-term health of the tree. There's a crown. It's the root base where the roots start to splay out from the bottom of the tree. Ideally, you shouldn't put anything above that level.
And then what happens if the tree is too far up, the root ball is too far up in the ground, so the top of that is not covered? What occurs then?
Well, now this is kind of fixing a problem that could have been avoided when planting it at the right depth, to begin with. But I suppose you could backfill with good soil. You can amend that soil with some fertilizer, but having soil up to where the roots come out, that's the perfect level for trees.
And then if that tree is planted too close to the house, I know you said one person planted it too close to the gutters, but when that occurs, it not only causes a problem with not giving the tree enough room to grow, but it could definitely cause issues for your house too.
Well, the roofing companies love those folks.
That's right. They're looking for those trees. So when you do that, I guess people are often planting other things as well next to that tree, such as bushes of some kind, flowers, things along those lines. But are there some trees and plants, shrubs that don't go with each other, that just won't work together?
It can happen. I definitely know that black walnut trees, which are beautiful, even can be a cash crop if grown to harvest, they actually put out, I guess it's in the soil, they eliminate all of the competition. They'll actually saturate the soil. I don't know if it's a hormone or an enzyme, but it makes it very hard for anything to grow near those trees. So they have their own defense systems that ensure the best rate of survival for them. That's an example of one of those trees.
And is this the time of year people start planning their landscape? Is this the time of year they actually start digging out where they want to put their landscaping?
Yes, it is. This is a great time to start planning your landscaping.
Of course, days like today, it feels great outside, but we're probably going to see another cold day or two.
Yeah, you want to stick right now to maybe like fruit trees or regular trees or berry plants, things like that. Of course, it's too early for your garden or annuals or anything like that.
We do have planting zones, and you'll see these on the backs. If you're planting your annuals, your vegetables, we in Tennessee, we're in zone 7A and 7B, and our zones determine on the average last frost for the area. So if you really are bored right now and want to start doing something, you could start sprouting not trees, but vegetables and perennials and annuals indoors if you want, in grow trays. So certainly it's a good time of year for that. And on the back of the package, there's information that helps you know when you can transplant them outside. And at Master Gardeners, we use a website. It's called UTHort, UTHORT.com. And it's a website that gives you information on how to start planting your garden. It gives you useful information on shrubs and turfs and just how to start things off on the right foot.
And our average last frost date for this area is April 15th.
Okay, so that's 2 months away or so. You know, I've been surprised at the cost of gardening when you're putting your own garden together to grow fruits, vegetables, whatever it is you're growing, versus the cost of landscaping, because landscaping is not cheap. And, I'm always surprised when I go to decide on, okay, I'm going to put this new tree in the ground. I'm always surprised at how expensive that really is.
Oh, it can be. And if you go out and you're shopping and you're buying these trees, which cost a great deal sometimes to begin with, you've got to become a good consumer, because sometimes these trees are stressed just in getting them to the retail establishments. So you want to check the root ball, you want to check the condition of the leaves, because you're going to spend a considerable sum if you want that perfect look for your yard. So you've got to check and make sure you're buying the best stock available when you do that.
Now, let's say you live a little further out in the country or have friends who do, and you want to try relocating a tree because maybe you don't have any trees in your front yard. Is it that hard to relocate a tree?
It can be, but I think the bigger consideration is the cost. They have specialized equipment that'll pluck a tree out of the ground, even a 20-footer, 30-footer. While they're young, maybe up to 3 feet, I think you can move most anything. But when it gets beyond that, you have to decide, is it worth your sweat equity to get that into the place you'd like it?
Yeah, and then becoming a master gardener, that I'm sure would really help somebody out as far as learning, how to plant things properly, what they need to do, and how to help others as well in doing it. But becoming a master gardener, how is that? Is that a tough process to go through?
It's not a tough process. To become a master gardener, you don't have to be, you don't have to know everything. The whole point of becoming a master gardener is constantly learning and then sharing it with the community, what you've learned. And so we've just started our intern classes for this year, and it covers everything from soil to the 3 grand divisions of Tennessee and the different rocks and and composition of the land. I mean, just everything you ever wanted to know about the soil and the rocks and where we live in Tennessee, that information is going to be provided for the interns. And it's class time, and then it's hands-on things that we do, and it's a lot of fun. And there's a saying, we start with plants, but it's really for the people, because the people are all like-minded and on the same wavelength.
And if you do want to become a master gardener or are curious just to learn more, which was my case, I was an intern last year. Just got my green badge this year. It makes me official. But for me, I was impressed with how in-depth the class is, talking about propagation, talking about how to make your soil a better soil, a more welcoming environment. And then there is the outreach programs that we have. So it was working with community, gaining a greater knowledge, and I don't think you have to feel like you're a botanist to begin this project. I'm enthusiastic, and I tell anyone, if you're curious, talk to us. We'll help you out, and I know you'll have a good time learning.
As Denise mentioned, rock in Tennessee, I mean, especially here in Rutherford County, we have it everywhere, it seems like. Is it that hard to work with land when you have rock, or is there a simple solution to just bringing in more soil? Of course, trying to find that more soil is the problem, I guess. But what's the easiest thing to do when you do have a lot of rock?
Well, that's why you see a lot of raised beds in this area. Those raised beds, you can, bring that soil in, and that's your solution to that rocky or clay soil that the majority of us have.
And it's interesting, as you go out towards Eagleville and past Eagleville, it really does, the soil changes greatly. I mean, there's more dirt out there, a lot less rock compared to headed towards, if you're heading towards Las Casas, it's a different story. But it's wild how different the soil is from one side of the county to the other.
Sure, you can see if you ever go for rides, which I love to do, running through rural Tennessee. You also, or I've noticed that kind of trees that work well in those environments. Like you can have a cedar tree, eastern red cedar is one of our native trees here in Tennessee, and that'll come out of the rock. I've seen it actually crack concrete on our on-ramps at a highway. So there are trees, there are shrubs, there are plants that thrive in those rocky conditions, and that's one of the things you would learn with the Master Gardener program, or by going to the UT Hort website. You can at least have a good understanding as what I'm going to do with this kind of soil, and even how to amend that soil if you want to go in a slightly different direction.
It seems like cedar trees are, invincible almost to some extent. I mean, they can survive just about anything, it seems like.
You're right. They're rugged. We have areas called cedar glades here in Tennessee, and if you walk through there, or are fortunate enough to take a hike, literally they sprout out of the rock, and we have some cedar trees that are over 100 years old, and they just get magnificent looking when they get some age on them, and they are sturdy.
Now, I know there is an event coming up in September called the Grape Harvest, and I guess that's out there at the Agriculture Extension Service. Now, last year, that was one of those events, I think, that couldn't be held because the harvest, I don't know what happened, but it wasn't there.
It wasn't. In fact, I head up the vineyard as a volunteer, and last year, the end of July and August, the grapes were coming in and they were looking great, and we were excited. We were starting to advertise what we call as the grape harvest every year, and we went through a period of very little rain, and we had a hot period of time, and the grape harvest turned out to be a raisin festival. It's just the heat was just they succumbed, and that's one of the things. If you're harvesting a crop, or if you're a farmer, and for us, we have the chance to go back every year and make it better. But if you're counting on a cash crop, these things can happen, and so we had rough weather, we had too little water, and we didn't have much to celebrate. But hopefully this year that'll be a different story.
It seems about 15 or so years ago in Tennessee, when you drove through the state, you never saw grape vineyards. But that all changed not too long ago, and you literally see grape vineyards all over the state now.
Well, I think people are getting, with the knowledge that's available through the University of Google, which we all attend almost daily. There are people who have started up small vineyards. Vines are a pretty good crop. There are several that grow very well, even in our soils here in Tennessee. And there's even, you can go on wine tours, which is really wonderful. You can learn how grapes are started, how long a vine will last, and typically it's 20 to 30 years where you've got a good productive crop. But it's an interesting segment of agriculture. And of course, at the end, you've got jelly or the fermented variety of the fruit of the vine. All the more reason to enjoy.
Now, is it that hard to grow grapes? Like, let's say, just around your patio or something. If you wanted to do that, is it that tough to do?
Well, you got to have the considerations for the needs of the plant. And there are several different varieties that grow. Some grow more vertical, some grow horizontally. And you can, if you've got a little space, a little room to let them do their thing, the root structure of some grapevines can go down 20 to 30 feet in the ground. So even that's a consideration. But yes, you can do 3 or 4 vines, and they give an interesting look. They have nice cover. You can make jelly. So there are some things that are worth doing. If you choose to do some vines, you don't have to worry about having 5 acres to do it.
And again, we're talking about lawns and gardens this morning. Now, if you do have 5 or so acres for a vineyard, that would be a lot more labor intensive. I mean, you're talking about a massive operation for 5 acres of a vineyard.
I think it becomes a professional endeavor at that point, beyond what most of us would want to do. As much as I like pruning and trimming and going out there and checking on my babies out there, 5 acres, you do need a team, a considerable amount of investment. But in Tennessee, we've got a fair amount of vineyards that are successful.
Yeah, and those vineyards, I'm sure they range in size quite a bit. I don't know how big most of them are, but have you got an idea of the size of a commercial vineyard operation in Tennessee? I mean, is there an average?
Well, I know I've been to several, and Arrington Vineyards has, I think, 20 acres covered in vines, and they also import some that they process for wine. I have seen smaller vineyards that are 2 acres to 3 acres, but it all depends what your goals are. But if you've got the space, there's probably a vine for that space.
I'm sure there's a lot of, or it takes a lot of grapes to go into a full wine bottle. I mean, I don't know how many it takes. Have you got any clue on that? Have you ever tried making your own wine?
There's no, I haven't. Maybe this year I'll get adventurous and try that. But I think it's 2 gallons, and I'm not sure about this, but 2 gallons of physical grapes once you process them and get rid of the outside. I think it takes 2 gallons to make a bottle of wine.
That's a lot when you think about the size of just one grape and how much juice you're going to get out of that. Mm-hmm. So that could take a lot of effort, I'd say. So I was going to say, or ask, is there a favorite thing that you guys like to grow? I mean, is there one thing you're partial to maybe tomatoes versus something else?
Oh, yeah. Vegetable garden is my favorite to grow. I do both. I do fruit trees. I do grapevines in my own yard, flowers and everything. But there is nothing better than a fresh tomato out of that garden.
Amen.
And what is the time of year to do things like, let's say, grow tomatoes?
You want to definitely wait until after that last frost, because tomatoes are sun-loving plants, and so they like that heat, and they don't like that frost.
And how many tomatoes do you typically get each year?
Well, I kind of go overboard.
That way you can make sure you've got enough good ones.
Well, you know, they're like he called his grapes babies. I call my tomatoes babies, you know, and I like to plant. You usually get about 20, 25 seeds in a packet, and I kind of buy a different variety, and so I'll sometimes plant that whole packet, you know, but I love to give plants away to other people. And that's what we do as master gardeners. We give plants away to each other.
So what about you guys? What would be a favorite to grow?
I grow tomatoes just for personal use, but where I live is near the battlefield, and I have a lot of wildlife that like to join in on my tomatoes and things that I grow, so I just grow them in pots close to the house where the deer won't come. But I love the native plants, and it's a challenge to me to grow flowers that the deer won't eat. So there are some out there that I typically try to raise around my house, that perennials that are native and thrive in that environment, and the deer leave them alone. Now, rabbits and squirrels, that's another thing, but you know, that's part of the challenge.
And then, John, what about you? What are your favorites to grow?
Well, my favorites are the chilies and peppers. And boy, I like when they get a little caliente. So I like the spice of life, and peppers for me are just wonderful. Even the hotter, I don't go crazy and do any ghost peppers, but usually the heat of a chili, a decent chili or poblano pepper, does it for me.
Now, it's always surprising to see the different varieties of a single vegetable, like a squash or like a tomato. I mean, there's so many different varieties out there. But I'm curious, have you tried different varieties that may originate from other countries for different tomatoes or tomato breeds? I don't know.
I do like the heirloom tomatoes. They're not pretty, but they taste so good. And I do like to try the different varieties of the heirloom.
Do they all taste quite different? I mean,
yes,
is there a big difference?
They very much taste different. It's amazing.
There are tomatoes that are sweet. There are tomatoes that are acidy. There's all kinds of varieties, but I like to stick with the classic that I know will grow in my yard or in my pots.
You know, I know it's summer when I have that first tomato sandwich. Oh my gosh, I don't need a little mayo, salt, and pepper.
Mm-hmm. I actually take the salt shaker with me to the garden and just pluck it off, put a little salt on there. I keep it out there.
So can you really tell that big of a difference, though? I mean, because it sounds like some are sweet, some are not. I mean, it's wild to hear the differences.
It is, and the texture is different, too. Some have more seeds, some have more juice. Some, literally, you cut it and it's like butter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's why it's great. You know, a lot of people will stick to those standard tomatoes, but pick up an extra package of, a different variety and grow that and see how that goes.
Yeah, I would agree. If you go with nothing, Kroger's and Publix are there for a reason, but a lot of those tomatoes are what we call hothouse tomatoes, and they're actually developed so they travel well. Thick-skinned, they're actually picked prior to where they're ripe. So we've got wonderful summers here in Tennessee. We've got a chance to choose from dozens of tomatoes. I go to Publix in December when I don't have a tomato and need one, but it's not because I can't wait for the flavor of that tomato.
Now, is there truth in if that vegetable grows too big, it doesn't taste as good? In other words, a little bit smaller tastes better, or is that not true?
That's true, like on your squash, your zucchini. It doesn't really matter on your tomato or your peppers or your watermelons, but more of the squash family.
Interesting. Right now, that time, 8:44. We're talking lawns and gardens this morning. We are going to take a short break, and then we will be right back. If you have any questions, all you have to do is text those in at 615-893-1450. Again, 615-893-1450.
The Action Line on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
In today's changing world, you need a financial planner that you're comfortable with. Rely on the bonds that you've built with trusted friends at Old National Bank on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard here in the borough. And if you just moved here, visit us and enjoy warm, homemade cookies.
Honey, the cookies are ready.
Like Grandma used to make. Old National Bank. We're better together.
2230 Dr. MLK Jr. Boulevard. Old National Bank, member FDIC. Good morning. The fire department is still on the scene of this wreck out in West Nashville, Bellevue at Davidson Drive, at Hapwood Drive. Hopefully they'll have that back open in just a few minutes. Still a lot of volume trying to get up through Murray County into Williamson on 65 northbound as you continue on up into Franklin. There in Brentwood as well. It's a little bit slow. 65 south at Trinity Lane. Busy but moving on 24 westbound through the Antioch area coming in from Murfreesboro and Rutherford County. LLV offers everything a fun couple or a single could want. Luxury Lifestyle Vacations offers all-inclusive resorts and cruises all over the world. Google llvclub.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
I'm a single mom, and as you can imagine, it's a fight sometimes just to get out the door. But when I need new tires or something's wrong with my car, I need to head to someone I can trust. I go to Tire World.
Tire World, we keep your family rolling.
Tire World, locally owned and operated.
CBS News Brief. The deadline is today for millions of federal workers to hand in their resignations in exchange for paychecks through September, as President Trump explained last week.
We'd love to have them leave. We're trying to remember this. We want them to go into the private sector.
CBS News has learned more than 40,000 have already resigned. Cuts at the department that monitors climate may be next. CBS's Tracy Wolf.
The White House's Department of Government Efficiency, known as DOGE, entered the offices of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency on Tuesday, accessing IT systems to implement President Trump's order to cut federal spending.
Mr. Trump explains on Truth Social he wants to move Palestinians to safer and more beautiful communities outside Gaza so the U.S. can transform the territory into a luxury property. This man's already been displaced.
I say to Mr. Trump, we will not move to any other country. Skyscrapers are not for me.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
A few spotty showers here early this afternoon, otherwise cloudy skies with a high in the low 70s. Tonight, mostly cloudy and low near 45. Friday, partial sunshine, high 59. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS. Currently, it's 66.
The Action Line on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Time right now, 8:48. We're talking lawns and gardens this morning. We have guests in studio, John Stefanski, Denise Lyles, and Debbie Strobel, all master gardeners here in town. And now, did each of you become a master gardener through the Agriculture Extension Agency here in Murfreesboro?
Yes.
Okay. And classes, if somebody wants to also become a master gardener, do they just call the Agriculture Extension Agency and then go from there?
They can, or they can also go online. They would go to the rutherford.tennessee.edu website, and you will see on there about Master Gardeners. So it's a process. It's a yearly process. And the applications usually are due by December the 1st. So now is not the time that you would apply. You would apply more in the fall. You fill out an application, and then the extension agent would contact you. Classes begin at the end of January, and they run usually through the first week in May. So it's 14 weeks of classes, and then the rest of the year you do volunteer work. We have a graduation. That's what John just did. He graduated. And then you continue to do, we do CEU, continue education hours throughout the year, and we continue to volunteer different projects throughout the year. So it's not a one-time and done deal. You continue to learn and continue your, wouldn't say your career, but your path.
Hey, and I'm sure things are always changing in the world of gardening, and folks are learning new things all the time too.
Yes, and if you don't want to commit to the if you don't have time to commit to the Master Gardener, we do offer what's called Garden Basics. It's a series of classes that we offer in the fall. And again, if you go to that website, which is rutherford.tennessee.edu, you'll find more information about the classes coming up in the fall.
Now, some of the items that are coming up include a plant swap and then also the farmer's market, actually two different farmer's markets. So tell us a little bit more about those things.
The plant swap is offered to the public, and it's a great yearly event that we offer. And so basically how it works is If you bring in 6 plants, you get to take home 6 plants. And so, and we grow everything from
vegetable plants, flowers, trees, shrubs, bulbs.
That's a really cool thing, though, to be able to bring some plants with you and go home with some new ones. And
yes.
I can see where a lot of people would do that.
Yes.
It's offered on April the 26th, so mark your calendars. It's from 9 to 11, and they literally line up down the sidewalk. So now is the time that you want to, and we do house plants. Now's the time when you want to start, splitting your house plants or splitting those hostas or, whatever you grow from seed. Now's the time you want to do that because you want those to be established. And again, it's April the 26th from 9 to 11. If you bring 12 plants, you take home 12 plants. You bring 20 plants, take home 20 plants. There's no limit.
That's pretty cool. And then the farmers market, there's one that's downtown on the square. Then there's one at the Agriculture Extension Agency. And tell us about both of those.
The downtown farmers market the first one will be the first Saturday in May, and it runs all the way through October. We will always have a booth there for people that want information about plants in their yard. We will have a demonstration usually every week. Ours is every 2 weeks, every other Saturday. And then the one at the Ag Center starts the second Friday in May, and then after that second Friday in May, it'll be every Tuesday and Friday. And lots of vendors and lots of locally grown vegetables and all kinds of things.
And those are both really popular events. I know the one at the Ag Center, that one is closely monitored so that the farmers who bring stuff there, they are literally farmers who are within, I forgot how many mile radius of our county, but you're truly getting local things. Which makes a difference. I know a lot of people, they like to be able to talk to the farmer so they can learn the process of, well, did you use chemicals out there on the field? Those are good questions to ask too.
And we always have, the Master Gardeners always have an information table at the farmer's market for additional information that someone might want.
That sounds good. And again, those farmers markets are right around the corner, coming up fairly soon, and those will be open. And John, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I don't know that we've touched on the library series yet. That's held at the Linebaugh Library, and that happens the first Saturday from April through November. And we have classes, we share information, we will go ahead and give information about native plants, vegetable growing, propagation, and much more. And if you've got the time, take part of it. You won't regret having a wonderful time and learning what you can do with plants and shrubs.
Now, I heard you say propagation a couple of times. So what exactly is that in the world of plants?
Well, it's the development of new plants, and it's done from a variety of ways. You've probably heard of cuttings, where people can take cuttings of plants. So there are several different ways you can propagate. In fact, this year in the vineyard, I'm going to attempt to expand what we have in viable crop with several different methods. One will be a cutting. That's one way a plant will grow. Another one is called air layering. That's where you can take a portion of a healthy plant, peel off the bark, put some soil around it, and encourage a new root ball to develop. And once that happens, you take that and put it in the ground. So propagation is new plants from existing stock.
Interesting. And again, if anybody would like to learn more about any of the things we talked about, you can do so by stopping by, calling, or visiting online the Agriculture Extension Service.
Yes. And I think there was one more. We've got, it's called the Conservation Lawn Garden Extravaganza coming up. Now that takes place June 14th, 9 to 1 p.m. at Lane Agri Park. And if anyone needs to know where that's at, that's on John Rice Boulevard near the Sands near the Sam's Club. This event's put together by the Rutherford County Extension and Stones River Watershed Association. It's a free event. It's open to the public, and it will include Master Gardener-led tours of our demonstration gardens, of which we have several on site, education sessions on environment, gardening, and turf maintenance. And there'll be more information to follow on this event. It's very worthwhile. We encourage you to show up and let us show you what we do.
Now, speaking of turf, you can even see different types of turf there at the Agriculture Extension Service and get an idea of what you think may grow best or look best in your front yard.
No, that's correct. And in Tennessee, we've got several different seasons, and grass does not always do well in every season. So we have a variety of grasses. Sometimes we mix them together. We try to find that perfect grass from one seed, and there are many blends. You can have zoysia grass, which is a summer drought-resistant grass. Kentucky 31, which is a hybrid blend of many different seeds. We have ryegrass, which is a finer blade grass. Looks great, but is not tolerant of the weather in July and August. So that's what they do out there. They have test patches. And we even do that with ground cover. We have different clovers. So we test that all the time out there. And Mitchell Mode has been a real integral part of that. So if you have questions on the best type of grass for where you live, please talk to us about that. And county ag agents, that's part of their specialty.
I see and hear about more and more people putting fake turf down in their backyard, maybe just in small areas, but overall that couldn't be a good decision for your yard because you're blocking out so much.
It depends on, conditions in your yard. I've seen a lot of new houses go up on literally rock 2 inches underneath. So maybe you're doing the best you can do. If you don't have the ability to add 2 feet of soil on top of that, maybe artificial turf isn't the worst thing you could do out there. But it's there. It serves a purpose. I know for people who have very small yards but want to walk their dogs, they even have specialized turf for that.
Interesting. And as we close this morning, is there anything we left off or we need to add?
I'd like to say that you can come out to Lane Agri Park anytime. We have many gardens out there that you can come as a family, yourself. You can walk around. They're open to the public 24/7. The Extension office is a great place, a great source of information. You can go to their website or you can call. We have great agents. Justin is our extension agent for the Master Gardener Rutherford County, which is John's son. And but they're very knowledgeable people. So anytime you have any questions, feel free to call the extension office, come visit them, or come out to the gardens.
Sounds great. Well, thank you all for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks
for having us.
Again, we've been talking lawns and gardens with John Stefanski, Denise Lyles, and Debbie Strobel. Thank you all again for joining us. Time right now, we're just 1 minute away from the 9 o'clock hour. Stay with us. We do have more in local news coming your way next.
The Action Line on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Hi, this is Tina Fox at the Rutherford Farmers Co-op. Please come see us for all your cold weather needs. We have a great selection of Carhartt clothing to keep you warm, and as always, our warm muck boots to keep your feet warm. We have anything you would need to keep yourself warm or your animals warm. Please come see us. And if you're trying to feed your feathered friends through the cold months, we also have a wide selection of birdseed. That's the Co-op Farm and Home Center on Middle Tennessee Boulevard, just off of South Church.
Now an update from the wgnsradio.com News Center.
In Nashville, a new bill filed by Democratic lawmakers seeks to provide students who survive school shootings or other acts of mass violence the option of temporarily learning from home. The Student Comfort Through Alternative Restoration Environments Act, introduced by Senator Sarah Kyle and Representative Justin Jones, would require public school districts to offer a virtual learning option for at least 31 days following a tragedy at school. This comes after the deadly shooting at Antioch High School,